Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the Armory. Welcome to Full Time Sports Network. Welcome to X as well. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's having a great day. So we are here to do some more Arsenal news. Not much positive news, if I'm honest. Just more updates than it is anything else. There will be another show. I'm hoping to do it Sunday night, which hopefully will have more best news by then. But this is more just an update on everything that's happening at the moment. So let's get on with it. Right. Marino, it is a matter of just time now. It is literally a matter of time. There is nothing going to cause a problem with this. I'm 100% sure this is done. It just takes time nowadays. I don't know what it is nowadays. I think what it is more to do with making sure everything is ready for next season with the new FFP rules, so we don't get caught out next season. I think that is the biggest problem, and a lot of clubs are doing exactly the same thing. Not everyone, but majority of the clubs are doing the same thing, where they're just preparing for next season. So they're getting all the salary right, so they don't push out of the safety barrier next season when the new FFP rules come in, and you end up having to like, oh, how are we going to do this? How are we going to take him off the wage bill? How are we going to reduce this and all that kind of stuff? So it just takes a lot longer nowadays. Calafiori took 3 to 4 weeks after I announced it. So Marino, I kind of expect to take a while. Just patience, unfortunately. I know it's frustrating. I do get it. But just patience, please, people. Right, let's get into the comments. Big up to Tamina, saying Mikel Marino is joining Arsenal. I am 100% sure he is as well, Tamina. Big up to Tamina. Haven't seen you for a while. I'm going to go through some Arsenal news. I'm doing okay, thank you, Tamina. I hope you're doing well. Gyökeres is joining Arsenal. That I can't confirm, but forward is happening. Hello, mate. Hope you're well. Hope you're well too, Chris. Hope you're doing well. Broby, bench Ajax again versus Panathinaikos. Broby was someone that we looked into. I can't tell you exactly who we're going to go for forward line, because it all depends on finances and who we can get out. So until we've got someone else out, it's not even worth talking about forwards at the moment. But we are working on deals, and that's the main thing. Hammers, yeah. Well, West Ham are doing things differently. It's a very different situation to what we're doing. We're being very, very sensible. They don't have a wage bill like we do. We have quite a hefty wage bill compared to West Ham. So West Ham can do stuff where we can't as easy. It's more to do with wages than it is anything else, and squad size. West Ham can do pretty much what they need. No problem. Alvarez to Atletico is done, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much done. People need to really calm down about the market value on that as well, by the way. He is worth £80 million in real world. So the price that they paid is a good deal, because I think if it was a Premier League team, you'd be looking over the 100 million mark. So yeah, it's one of those. People just need to chill. Big up to Goonie Greg. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Tabor, is Solanke going to Spurs? Solanke is most likely going to Tottenham. Yeah, that's the most likelihood. Stop panicking. Listen to the real guru, Poppy. Thank you, Chris. Hammer's great work these last few windows. Yeah, well, they've got the capabilities of doing it. We don't, because we have a massive wage bill where they don't. We have a lot of players that are on big wages. They don't, and that's the difference. Greetings. I made it. Big up to the silver one. I said City stole him 3 Januaries ago. Now I said strengths for the window, and people didn't know who Alvarez was, it seemed. Liverpool got 20% sell on Solanke. Yes, so obviously Bournemouth won't want to sell too cheap due to the fact 20% goes to Liverpool. So yeah, big up to the 400 people watching as well. Thank you very much. Right, so let's move on to the next talking point. Forward player is next. So after Marino, we are expecting a forward player to come in next. Obviously, that is dependent on getting someone else out, but that is the next incoming, will be a forward player. Can't tell you who, can't tell if it's a winger or a striker, because there's so many things going on. The market is moving very quickly at the moment because more teams are getting involved now. More teams are bidding on this player. Some people are becoming unavailable. Some people are becoming available. So it's very, very fluid at the moment. And honestly, you couldn't put money on who joins who at the moment because anything can happen from 1 hour to the next. Things change drastically. Yeah, City have made great profit on Alvarez. He was a very good player. I would have happily have had him, but there's no way City were selling him to any Premier League club whatsoever. Another midfielder, yes, possible. Now, this links in with what I'll be talking about in the transfer out part. But yes, another midfielder is possible on top of Marino. So just bear that in mind. We could possibly go for another midfielder as well as Marino. Obviously, Fabian Ruiz was mentioned earlier in the window. Don't rule it out. You've seen that Ugarte is not left because there's some stumbling blocks there. So there is a possibility that Fabian Ruiz could leave. So yeah, bear that one in mind. I am my usual got a headache, but maybe that's because I was having child cheese. You're having bless you, mate. I'm gonna have to catch up with your streams, mate. I really am because I just need to. I just need to listen to you, mate, because you are hilarious. And not in a horrible, you know what I mean. You're just so honest, and I love that about you. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. There was talk this morning of a loan move for Zaha, not for us. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense for us to move for Zaha at all. I expect if he was to come back to the Premier League, he'll probably go back to Crystal Palace. I don't see him coming to Arsenal on a loan move. It doesn't make any sense. I think Galatasaray are asking for a huge loan fee as well. So yeah, it doesn't fit in with the way that we do things, you know. So it doesn't make any sense. I don't think it will happen, but I need to talk about it because it was on here. Well, not on here, but on the timeline, and I needed to talk about the incredible sulk. Greg, that is spot on. Oh dear. Kadioglu bid. We have been interested in for a while now. We have put a bid in. It has been rejected. It is 15 million euros too low. I kind of expect him to go to another club, if I'm honest, because I think another club will act a little bit quicker to get him. I do think he'll go to the Premier League, but I don't think it'll be us. But we are in there trying, but I don't think he'll come personally. I think he deserves a place where he's going to be the starter, a guaranteed starter. I don't think he's going to get that at Arsenal. I love him. I think he's a great player. He was very, very good at Euros. I saw him beforehand as well because obviously we were linked with him back in January. And we've been scouting him for quite a while. So obviously I've been watching him and he is very talented left back and can play right back as well, can do a DM role as well. So I'd love him, but I just don't see it happening personally. But we have had a bid and it has been rejected. As for whether or not we'll go back in again, I don't know, I'll be honest. Third spell at Palace, in my opinion, for Zaha. They love him, he loves them, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Eze, for me, will leave. Olise has obviously already left. There's a lot of players that possibly else could leave Palace. Goonie Greg, I'm bringing this up straight away now because Eze is the person that I've heard could be going to City. They're looking more for a midfielder than they are looking for a striker because they've got McAtee, very good young player. that I think they would trust to slot in when needed, like they did with the youngster. I can't remember his name. They had a couple of years ago. They had a youngster that they were giving slots to, and for some reason I'm thinking Delap, but I don't think I'm right there. But it was a youngster a couple of seasons ago they were giving chances to because they trusted him. I think they'll do that with McAtee again this season, and I think they'll strengthen their midfield. I think that's where they feel they need strengthening. So that's what I kind of going with. Glasner going to have 100 million on deadline to spend super. Oh, mate, he's going to have so much money. It's ridiculous. Rico Lewis. No, I can't think of his name. Rico Lewis is more of a defender, midfielder type player, isn't he? I can't remember his name. Can't for the life of me remember his name. But no, I remember Rico, but I can't think of his name. It's going to bug me. But yeah, so that's Kadioglu bid. Other news, as in incomings, not really, if I'm honest. Obviously, there is talk of the goalkeeper having to come in if Ramsdale goes. And Ramsdale will go, so we will bring in a new goalkeeper. There's obviously a lot of talk, which I'll get onto in a minute in the transfer outs, regarding it could be a swap, goalkeeper versus goalkeeper. But yeah, first match, Cole Palmer versus City. Bob Bean looking good. Doku Savio cheats. Oh yeah, I can't keep continuously with that sentence, unfortunately, because I'll get in trouble. Right, the big one. Nketiah Saga explained. Right, so the situation with Eddie is there is a deal with Marseille. However, there is a £6 million difference between the two, and they are going to try and work it out. I'm hoping they can. They're definitely keen on trying to sort it out because Eddie wants to go to Marseille. And obviously Arsenal want to offload. However, there is a big twist, and this could possibly happen. Everton are considering getting into this. Now, because it's not 100% sealed, as in unbreakable contract, Everton could hijack this. Now, Everton have got the money. They've also got the ability to actually give him the salary that he wants as well. So that is one to keep an eye out for. Obviously, Moss was bringing up about Solanke leaving Bournemouth. Will Bournemouth be interested? Bournemouth would be interested. However, they would have to stump up a lot of money to pay for his wages. Their top wage at the club, I believe, was 80,000 with Kluivert. That is their top wage. They would have to break that to get Eddie. I don't think they'd be willing to do that. So he's kind of a little bit in a problem there. Like there was people talking about Brentford. Brentford's top wage is 50,000. You know, that's double to get Eddie in. It's just, yeah, there is limited places that Eddie can go, unfortunately, because of his wages. So obviously Marseille, they can pay his wages. Everton can as well. So yeah, it's a tricky one. I do think actually, I'm not going to say I think he'll go. I know he will be going. At the moment, I'm more sure he's going to go to Marseille. Obviously, the Marseille are trying to get Wahi. For anyone that's not aware of what they're trying to do with Wahi is worth 40 to 50 million pounds. They are bidding around 20 million pounds to get him. It kind of tells you how Marseille are doing stuff. I will also say regarding the Eddie deal with Marseille and Arsenal haven't behaved in the best way either. They agreed to something and then they wanted more of this and wanted more of this in certain payment structures and all this kind of stuff. So they kind of just need to knock their heads together and kind of sort this out because it's there for the making. And weirdly, I was looking at their finances earlier. They're actually in £22 million in profit at the moment, Marseille, considering the type of window they've had. I was expecting them to be in the red, but they're actually in profit at the moment. So they've got the money. They can't fool anybody. They're in profit at the moment, and despite having a very good window already. So a deal will be had. I'm 100% sure Eddie will be leaving. I'm just thinking whether or not Everton might come in and try and hijack the deal. Obviously, I think for them to do that, I think Calvert-Lewin would have to go. But there's a lot of moving parts at the moment. So it's going to be exciting 3 weeks, stressful, but exciting. All I would say for all Arsenal fans, just chill out, please. I know it's really stressful, and I know that you want all these players in, but at the end of the day, we've got a good squad now. We just need to add a few little bits here and there, and just tweak it just a tiny bit right now. So that's everything that I know on Eddie. So we're £6 million apart. We will sort it out. I'm sure we will. Just need to both kind of grow up a bit and sort it out. Is the young Gabriel Carvalho international rumours anything to it? Edu get a Brazilian. Like I said, the bit I can confirm is there is a £30 million budget for the youth. But as you have probably noticed, the rumour came from International themselves. It is someone we have looked at. I can't deny that we haven't looked at him. But would we seriously wipe out our whole budget on one player? Very much doubt it. Maybe something can be done, but it's going to have to be a lot lower price than that. That's for certain. And I think they're talking about 25 million plus loads of add-ons and stuff like that. So yeah, madness. Paul Sampson, prices are too inflated, so that's why we missed out on certain targets. Play that song Vanilla Ice under pressure. Get Varane out for this nonsense excuses. He's lowering the standards. I hear you, mate. Owners signed Charlie White, not him. Simpson started worrying, thinking I'm under pressure now with that signing. Yeah, I see Eddie Ketia at Bournemouth as Solanke replacement. I just don't know. Maybe Eddie does take a bit of a wage hit. Maybe he does. You know, Clivert's on 80,000, so it's not like a million miles away from 100. But what people got to remember, again, that 100 is with a lot of bonuses. So his base value is like 66,000. So it's doable. It's one that I think could take a while if they're going to have to wait for Solanke to leave, because Solanke is not an easy deal at all, due to the fact of the sell-on clause for Liverpool. If there's any sell-on clauses to any clubs, I promise you, it is a hell of a nightmare. As much as they're great, because you get loads of money down the line, they are a nightmare trying to get transfers with it. Exactly. And Nketiah has potential to have Balogun impact in League One. I wouldn't be shocked. I think, look, I've always said he's a good little poacher. You know, he's one of those players you just want in the box all the time, but he doesn't do what we need him to. And that's the difference. Big up to Shashi saying, how about Subamendi? I read that Arsenal could sweep in if Subamendi is willing to move to England. I can't deny it. I can't deny that if that was to happen. It wouldn't surprise me if we got both of them, if I'm honest. Like I said earlier in the show, that there is a possibility of 2 midfielders, not just the one. So if we were to get 2 midfielders, fantastic. But Partey would have to leave. And I know a lot of people are not that keen on letting him go. But personally, it's time. See you later. Farewell. But pick up to you, Shashi. Exactly, Bobby. This is why I hate X. Just chill out on my time. All I see, we bottled another transfer 1 hour before that was masterclass. They know nothing. Wasn't just Wahi, but Marseille trying to get loan from Mukoko. We liked as well. Mukoko wasn't someone that we were that keen on. Wahi wants Marseille. I can't see it happening, if I'm honest. I know Mukoko is from Dortmund. We weren't that keen. He will be going to Marseille, but it's a front line free. So when De Zerbi went in, he wanted to change 80% of the squad. Henny's getting there, and it was 3 strikers, not just 1 or 2. It was 3. So obviously he's got the person I'm not going to name, Mukoko, and 1 more. So it's either Wahi or Nketiah. Obviously, I think price-wise, they're closer to us than they are with Wahi, because Wahi, they don't want madness money. And to be fair, they only bought him last summer for like 26, 27 million. So they're not going to want to take a hit on it. Can Liverpool really get Zubi? Yes, they can, if they can convince him. I hate signing players if a club has sell-on clause. Once that happens, I know I'm selfish. I'll say just absolutely no chance to yeah. What strikers are we talking to? By the way, please not Zaha. What strikers are we talking to? Ah, right. Okay. Osherman. I can't rule out, but it's getting very, very less likely. Gyökeres is one we are talking to. Broby is another one. There is a couple of others that I can't mention, but there are definitely strikers we're talking to. Bobby, what's the story with Spurs? Look like the same shit, just a different shovel. Regarding Tottenham, Gerard, you've got to sell. You've got to sell to bring in. You're very much like us at the moment. You have to sell to bring in. You're not selling. That's the problem with you guys. Obviously, Richarlison hasn't gone to Saudi Arabia. Whether or not Tottenham were guaranteeing on that, I don't know. But you have to sell to buy, and that is the biggest problem with a lot of clubs at the moment. They don't want no clubs want to bloat their squad up because it doesn't help. We meaning you. I mentioned and Marseille wanting. Oh, Wahi. Yeah, I've always wanted Wahi. I'd be quite happy. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I'll be quite chill if we got Wahi. I know it probably won't excite a lot of people, but I'm quite chill about it. Fabs has said we don't even want Zubimendi. There are no serious talks between us and Zubimendi, he said. Okay, the Zubimendi thing has been going on for about 2 years with us. Last summer, we made a massive move. Nearly got him. Something changed and blah, 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 blah. And we went down a different route. This summer, we have not looked at Zubimendi at all, due to the fact we didn't think, one, he would ever want to move, because that's what we've always been told, that he was. But I think he stated it, was it a couple of months ago, that he was adamant that he was staying in Spain. The only place he'd probably go is Barcelona, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden. But at the moment, I wouldn't guarantee you that he's going to go to Liverpool. I can still see that he'll stay at Sociedad. Sociedad is one of those clubs you don't tend to leave very easily, very much like Bilbao. You just don't tend to leave them. So, yeah. Can you say if we're looking at nines and or wingers, or are we looking at first-style forwards, i.e. João Pedro types? Ooh, that's a tricky one, because obviously I know the players. I'm trying to think. I'd say that even if their number one role is a 9, they could do other roles if necessary. Like, I'll talk about Gyökeres, right? Because Gyökeres is number 9, right? But he can play on the left or the right if needed to, with Jesus down the middle. So he's versatile, even though he's a 9. So, but versatility is essential to Arteta. Versatility is essential. So whatever player we go for, they have to be able to do more than one role. They have to. So yeah. So like, even if we talk about Osherman, for me, Osherman can do more than one role. He's more than a number 9. So yeah, big up to the 900 people currently watching. Thank you ever so much. Yes, that's our fans stressing out on Zubimendi. That's what I was talking about. If it wasn't Edwards, there'd be no deal. But with Edwards and Hughes, I'm chilled out on my recliner chair. Nice beer, thanks. Love it. Big up to Elliot. Has the Zubi rumours pushed the Marina deal forward? Not really. Hasn't changed anything, to be honest. What a lot of people don't know about Sociedad actually have 15 players on release clauses. So technically, 15 different clubs can go and attack Sociedad, go to La Liga, and literally activate every single clause. And Sociedad would have 0 things they could do about it. They would lose 15 players in literally, they could lose them in one day. So Sociedad kind of put themselves in a bit of danger there with so many release clauses. So it would make no difference for me. Makes no difference. Not Wahai. Makoko. Yeah, Makoko, I'll be honest. Arsenal haven't been that impressed by. I know we had a scout report done on him, and we moved on from him quite quick, to be honest. So yeah, it wasn't really something that was exciting us. Spurs or a car crash on the pitch. That's why I put them 8th. Oh, geez. Porro and Udogie are wing backs, but they get exposed as fullbacks. Romero is car crash, headless chicken. Love it. Will we sign a forward this summer? Okay. Big up to Elliot. We will sign a forward player. I think that's the best way I could put it. So, obviously, for us, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Jesus, Havertz, all forward players. There will be a forward that comes in. They will be versatile. Whether or not their number one position is a winger or a number 9, I couldn't tell you right now because so many moving parts at the moment behind the scenes. So I couldn't guarantee you what kind of forward, but there will be a forward player coming in. I like Wahi, just think he's best from the left for me. Oh, okay. No, I like that. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, I quite like Wahi. I wouldn't have any major issues with that. I don't believe Zubimendi has turned down the clubs mentioned. Bayern Munich. No, yeah, okay. So you're on about Man United, Arsenal. No. Bayern Munich, it wasn't necessarily a turn it down. It was more of a case of not right now. Thank you very much. But yeah, just out of respect, to be honest, Arsenal, Mad, just out of respect. I thought it was a club league rule that you needed a release clause in the Liga, hence the 1 billion release clauses. No, you don't need. You don't have to have release clauses. I will go into this. So I'm just going to quickly type in the La Liga, so I can go through a few of the players. You don't need to have release clauses in Spain. Let's have a look. So you got Oblak, no release clause. What I would say is that you have a lot that have got release clauses, but you don't have to put them on. Don't have to put them on. It's not a rule. It's not a straight rule there. So yeah. Again, Bobby, I said, okay, got you, mate. Have a good one. Back to work and Olympics. Cheers. No worries. Did you see Arteta talking about you have to earn your minutes? Journo was talking about Rambo. Oh, okay. Rambo will be gone. Rambo will be gone. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I'm just going to go for this La Liga thing now because it's starting to get to my head with it. Right, so we've got loads here, loads that don't have them. Brahim Diaz, DePaul, Koke, loads that don't have release clauses. You don't have to have them. Just the Spanish clubs like to put them on there. It's really weird. I don't know if it's a protection thing. I don't know what it is because obviously we don't do them very much with Premier League teams, so I don't know. Real Social apparently convincing Zubimendi to stay with PowerPoint presentation about mountains. I'm like, okay, bit weird. It's all to do with that area, isn't it? Yeah, it's an interesting one, that's for certain. But yeah, right. Let's move on now. We've explained Nketiah. Ramsdale heading to Wolves. This one is a big possibility. This does rely on Jose Sarr leaving. If Jose Sarr leaves Wolves, then they are going to go for Aaron Ramsdale. Obviously, they've got a little card up the sleeve with Bentley, because obviously we want Bentley, so they could tempt us with it. I expect if he does go to Wolves, it'd be a loan with an option to buy at the end of the season. I think it will go through, to be honest, if that was the case. But obviously, Jose Sarr has to leave first. So again, it's another domino effect we got to wait for. But yeah, it's something that could happen. So again, wait and see. Reese, I think that might be the next slide. There we go. How about that? Good, Greg. You read my mind. Clubs circling for Nelson. So there's currently 3 clubs in the Premier League looking at Nelson. I think he will go. I don't know how quick this will be, though. I've got a horrible feeling it's going to go down to the last day, which will honestly, if it goes down to the last day, might screw us up a little bit, because we need 2 slots, definitely 3, to be able to get 2 more players in. This does not include Marino, by the way. Marino's already got this slot cleared by ESR. But to get 2 more players in, we need to get 2 more players out. Yes, again, the same issue comes in with Nelson, same as Nketiah. Who can afford him? It's a tricky one. It really is. Leicester, I definitely can't afford him wage wise. So you're looking at a Palace. Obviously, West Ham have got Somerville, so that ain't going to happen. Possibly Bournemouth again, because Cliver on 80,000, it's doable. Everton again, it's doable. It's one of those you just don't know. It wouldn't totally surprise me, due to the fact he has played over there. A Bundesliga team comes in, or someone from out of nowhere just comes in and gets him. It's a tricky one, but Reese, and I'm totally with him on this one, wants more of a permanent move, because he wants his life to be, paved out a little bit. He wants to know where he's going to be. So he doesn't really want a loan, because you're only going to be living somewhere for a year. You might coming back again. So yeah, he wants it more settled than it is going to be a loan. I called Ramsdale to Wolves a month ago. Guaranteed football there. Newcastle was a nonsense, having 2 number 1 keepers. Wanting to be number 1 is like Hamilton and Clerk. At Ferrari going to be, yeah. Leicester got no chance with FFP hanging around them. Yeah, they've got so many problems. That's why I've already said, guaranteed that they'll go down for me. I can't see him going, but the fact he didn't play at all yesterday, says Mikael, wants him gone. I think it will be an option to buy, which I hate. I don't like options to buy either, mate, if I'm honest. I just want people gone. I'm one of those that just want to close the door and see you later. I don't want to. Well, actually, I don't want to see you later. Here we go. Has nothing on Bobby's. It's done. My done is done. Look, the problem is so much happens between it's done and then you see the player in the shirt. So I say it's done, then a lot has to happen, more to do with lawyers than anything else, before you see him in the shirt. And sometimes those bits with the lawyers take a lot longer for other people than they do for. But like, we've had the same issue with Calafiori. Like, Calafiori had, was it like 2 or 3 different sell-ons? We've got the same problem with Marino. There's an extra. There's like I think there was a 2% sell-on somewhere on his contract to some other Spanish club. And it's honestly just, I can't believe how unlucky we are with all these stupid sell-ons. So everyone needs to get their little piece of cake. It's frustrates the heck out of me. Nelson Semenyo, Clivert, Sinstera are now tasty and scary options for opposition. 100%. If they keep Kirkies as well, it could be an interesting package next season. Especially under Iriola, because I think he's a good coach. So we've just hit the 1,000 mark as well. So thank you very much for the 1,000 people watching. You have said in the past that we would sign 4 players this window. Has this position changed? No, not at all. We are currently on Calafiori, Marino coming on, 2 more coming in. So yeah, I don't see not going to 4. I really can't. If it might even sneak to 5 if we're lucky. There's 3 weeks still to go. Still 3 weeks to go. I predict minimum of 4. So that would be Calafiori. I'm not even bringing Raya into this. So Calafiori, Marino, 2 more players. I think we can do it. I hope we do it. And currently, I don't feel there is no reason for us not to be able to do it. So yeah, thank you very much, Elliot. Next one, waiting for bids for Partey. There we go. We are very willing to sell Thomas Partey. I wouldn't say we're going to be having a party by selling him, but it makes a lot of sense to get rid of him. And that sounds really horrible and very graphic, but that is the way it is. Thomas Partey is out of contract next summer. He's on big money. He is 31 now. It's the perfect time to just cash in, get him out, see you later, bring someone else in. Simples. There is hope that someone's coming in. Obviously, movement has to happen. Weirdly, you never know. Liverpool might be the ones that help us out by buying a DM, and that team then wants Thomas Partey to replace him. You just don't know. There's a lot of domino effects that will happen at some point, and that's the exciting part of the transfer window. Love Bobby Strauss. No, still 4 players coming in. Same to Liverpool fans. 3 signings. Yeah, it's sorry. I'm very straight to the point. There's no grey with me. Do apologise. Any other news? Yes. Kivior could still leave. Be prepared for this bit. Zinchenko is the most likely to stay. Now, I know a lot of people said, "Oh, he's only been given the 17." Blah 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 blah. Yeah, but the 17 number actually has a big, significant meaning to him. And I don't think Arsenal will just give it to him for a couple of weeks to then sell him. So I do believe Zinchenko will be here for this season. What happens next season, I couldn't tell you. But for this season, I think he will be part of our squad. And I do say squad because he won't be a left back necessarily. He will also play left centre midfield if needed, DM in a pivot kind of role. He will be a versatile, used player next season. So don't panic too much because we have got Calafiori that will be covering the left. And we've got Timber as well. So we have got players that can do that more comfortably. But yeah, don't rule out Kivior going, but Zinchenko will be staying. So bad news for people that want City gone, which might have been me. Thomas has Italian club written all over him, even if it's for a big loss. Oh, it's going to be a huge loss. Arsenal man, I'll be honest. People just need to calm down because a lot of people like saying, "Oh, I want 30, 40 million pound for him." Really? Got 1 year left on his contract. He's not really had a great season with us. A lot of injuries and stuff. There is no value there. £7.50 and see you later. But no, seriously, probably around 15 to 20 million quid, and he'll be gone. But yeah, we just need to move on. We can bring someone else in. I'm going to go with a guess of like a player profile of 23, 24. Yeah. It's same with F1 news. I have contacts and people say science to Williams is nonsense. I had last laugh going to be laughing when Newey and Antonelli are announced after being told to stick to the facts, not rumours. Oh, I love you, Chris. Honestly, you're just a legend. Guna Greg, 10 million a year in wages. Exactly. It's mad. Well, I've got long lists. Great Wall of China. I love it. Trying to think of anything else that could possibly happen. I'm trying to think, rack my brains. Not at the moment. Jesus, if a bit of significant value comes in, then yes, we would happily sell him. But I don't think it's going to happen now. I can't see where he fits, as in what avenue he could go now with the value as well. There was talk that Atletico Madrid were coming in for Jesus earlier in the window, but obviously they've gone for Alvarez. But the amount of money they've paid for him, they could have actually got Jesus. But they went for Alvarez instead. So it is what it is. Right, final storyline before we wrap this up. Arteta using special training methods. Now, so there was an Arsenal dinner. Arsenal players had all their phones and all their personal equipment on them. Arteta had hired professional I know what I'm trying to say. Pickpockets. Thank you. My brain is not cooperating today. Professional pickpockets to basically take their stuff. So basically make players fully aware at all times. And this is a fantastic tool to use for psychology. We do it in the army, because you should always be fully aware of all your surroundings at all times in the army. So Arteta is basically using military tactics right now with our players to make sure that they're fully aware of their whole surroundings all the time. So no one's going to just sneak up on it. So basically, like, obviously man on is something that we used for many, many years in football, but he basically wants the players to be fully aware of any possible man on themselves without the need for someone shouting it to them. So it's very, very clever, and I hope it does help a little bit, because obviously we do get caught out sometimes. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Captain Scott, the pickup to Goonie Greg. But that's it for now. I will be back twice on Sunday. I'll be back in at 2:00 for Arsenal Leon, and then I'll do the Arsenal news at 7 that evening, I think. So yeah, thank you ever so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Take care, and I shall speak to you at the weekend. Take care for now. Bye bye.